Hey you guys, it's your girl, Black Queen Cleo, and you're watching Cleo's Podcast. For today's episode, or should I say topic, is pretty privilege because I go through this a lot, and I feel like a lot of you guys are going to relate and go through this as well, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say. So tune in for this topic, pretty privilege. I mean, dang, I really wanted to talk about it because I'm not the only one who goes through this. And it really spoke out to me because this was trending like about a week ago. And I just did not have time to record. Honestly, like it takes time for me. And I've already expressed that before in my past videos. But I really did want to touch base on this because I feel like a lot of us pretty people, not just girls, go through this. I mean, especially in the dating world or in general. I mean, some people have their thoughts and think that pretty privilege really does work out for you. I mean, you do have somebody who is a celebrity and she tapped in on this. Jada Waita, if you don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and post a clip for y'all to see.
Yes, off of a pretty face. If you don't have a brain, you're going to be one of those people who need an not what. And like to be like, oh, I got this, I got this, I got that. Another got this and that. And it's never smart to use your prettiness as leverage because when you go into situations like that, they never tend to work out in your favor. And then that's why girls be like, oh, it has its downfalls. No, you're just going in it thinking that that's going to get you somewhere and not being strategic. That's why it's so important to be intentional, have discernment, and know what's for you because you will keep getting played.
Now, she tapped in on this and pretty much said her output was you can't just be pretty, you gotta have a brain. And I agree. Some people just really think that being pretty gets you a long way. Like you gotta be smart. You can't just be pretty with no brains. I mean, it works out for some of us, but not for all of us. A lot of people also assume you have a roster. In the dating world, it is a hit or miss, and it could be seen as a curse being pretty or handsome or very attractive because maybe the person you're talking to or the pool of people you're talking to may be a little insecure, or you might have a hard time having friends or finding friends or people who can relate to you. Anyway, diving back into it, pretty privilege. I have went on TikTok and I came on YouTube and I seen a lot of people's input, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert those clips so we can go ahead and talk about it, and that gives us some insight of how other people see pretty privilege.
Creator on here talking about pretty privilege. She made mention how the girlies who actually have pretty privilege are not on here telling the real game. I feel hesitant to even make this video, but the reason why a lot of those girls are not on here giving the real game and the real tea is because the real tea is not politically correct. Most of y'all's faves and the girls who just look so perfect are doing the exact opposite media pushes, which is body positivity. This is not to say that natural beauty does not exist, but there is definitely enhancements from Botox to fillers to restrictive diet, jobs, implants, you name it. And just being real, some people don't want you to know the work that they got done. And the ones who are willing to share the game, they don't want to get canceled because it's not the right thing to say. But the truth is, it's 2024, and while the beautiful are getting more beautiful every time they hop online, the masses are being taught to literally embrace imperfections that are easily fixable in safe procedures. So like I said, I don't know who needs to hear that, but I feel like it's very important that people know the people who tend to be at the top and look in certain ways are not playing by the same rules that the masses are playing by. And that's why they are living more privileged lives and doing things that the rest of the people are not doing. And that's not to say that it's a bad thing or they're doing things that are illegal. It's just that people are finding other ways and it's not being disclosed. When you do come across creators who put you on a little bit of game, be thankful for that little bit of nuggets that they gave, because to be honest, everybody is not being honest out here.
So as I was editing, I went to Threads to take a break, and then I saw this thread, and I was like, why do a woman get her body done and feel superior over a natural body woman? And this comment spoke out to me. It says, I think it has a lot to do with the privilege that comes with having your body done. It's like a different type of pretty privilege. People treat you like you're a celebrity. Well, some people. So then I got to thinking, and then I started scrolling on Instagram. Then I came across this video that pretty much justifies this threat.
What's your age?
I'm 27.
Are you single?
No.
You have a man?
Yeah.
How long now?
Like 3 years.
How much money would you say you make annually?
Me? I'm not sure. I'm a stay-at-home girlfriend, so.
So you don't work?
No, I don't.
So how much money does your man have to make to take care of you?
I mean, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. If I had to work, I would work, but my man makes enough for the both of us, so I don't have to work.
Being that you've been a stay-at-home girlfriend for 3 years, what's one thing you wish men understood about women?
Is that a lot of women, I feel like they're forced to be in like a masculine era. Like a lot of men want to reverse like the roles and stuff like that. And I feel like if a lot of men were more providers for women, women wouldn't feel like the need to be so independent. Does that make sense?
But what about feminism?
I mean, yeah, but if you're forcing women to be like, you know, do stuff on their own and like take care of you too, like of course they're gonna be a little bit masculine, right? Like.
A pretty girl is so frustrating for people to think that life is just all sunshine and rainbows, when in actuality, we go through it the worst. People think we got all these friends, we got options, we always invited to the parties, when that is literally the furthest thing from the truth. For one, we get treated so bad by men, like so bad. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I've encountered some men that tried to do me dirty, and I didn't do nothing to deserve it, nothing. But I've come to terms with the fact that a lot of men have gotten satisfaction of trying to break me down and belittle me. Whether it was because they was jealous or they wanted to diminish my worth so that nobody else could see me, I don't know, but it's weird. Secondly, we go through it with other females so bad. I'll link up with a girl and I'll be like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. She down to earth, like she a real one, And then a couple months down the line, I'm finding out that this bitch really hates me. I'm talking hates me. I've had guys that I'm cool with tell me about conversations he overheard that women were having about me in the same room as him. Not even digging, it's somebody over here to the far side of the room that know me. And we ain't even gonna get into the mistreatment that we experience from family members, all because they feel some type of way about what we look like. Realistically speaking, people only fall all over us online. In actuality, y'all us. Granted, it's a lot of perks to being a pretty girl with a pretty heart, with a pretty attitude. But on the other hand, the weird we have to deal with is not even worth trying to use that privilege. Most times I'm uninvited, I'm alone, I'm talked about, and I'm treated badly, where they try to treat me badly, because I'm not going for none of that. So all this pretty girl privilege I rant and rave about, tell me what's really good, because I've experienced a whole nother side to the not cute.
So as you can see, I did upload a couple of, girls' inputs, and I agree with this particular girl. Most people think that you have a roster when 9 times out of 10, we don't. We don't have a roster. And, it's just not, I can't keep up. I really can't. I can barely keep up with my own life. I mean, people don't really see the aspect. And I also think that social media plays a role in it too. People just live on social media. And I'm talking about for the dating aspect. I've been seeing a lot of men in their feelings, mainly, their perception on women, pretty women at that, is we're gold diggers. And that we want a man who has an excess amount of money. But it's like, you have to understand, why do you think I'm so pretty? It takes time into being attractive, paying for a gym membership, making sure I eat right. All of that's money and time that I put into myself. And then you're over here assuming that I want someone with a big amount of money. And mind you, most women at a certain age point, we do want someone with a certain amount of money, because there goes the ego. And a lot of men and women probably won't agree with me on this one, but hear me out. The ego. If a man is making, I want to say, less than his girl, most people are going to question her. Why, girl, you make more than him? That's just the dynamic from the people around. But also his ego plays a role in that. If he knows he's making less, he might become insecure in the relationship. And some of you women might, or men might understand where I'm coming from, where you feel like, damn, what value do I serve in this relationship? She makes more than me. You start getting a little jealous and acting envious, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not always the case, but I've seen some people that I love personally go through that, whereas they make more than their man, and then the woman feels like, I'm doing too much, like and then on top of it, he start treating you some type of damn way, and XYZ. And not to go off on a tangent or anything, but that also plays a role too. When you're pretty and you have certain expectations, let's say you've had your experience in the past, and you're like, you know what, moving forward, this is how I want my man to be. I've dealt with a man who was whatever, and these are the standards that I now have. It doesn't help if you're pretty, if you're extra pretty. For some reason, you're deemed as a gold digger, and you shouldn't want a person with those standards. And I'm not to say, like, I'm not on here to call nobody ugly, okay? Now, if you think you ugly out of this video, girl, don't blame me. I'm just saying what I'm saying, and if you could relate, you can. If you can't, you can't. Okay, moving on. Being pretty or very attractive, you have this negative stigma or perception on you that because of this, you're this, you're gold digging, or you're this and that. And it's like, no, what if I have standards? You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of sucky part in the dating world, whereas like social media kind of ruins it, because there's people on here with the BBLs and the filler, and for some reason those people are exceeding in life. Like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't. But the people in that field are really exceeding in life, and they're giving off that gold digging, you know what I'm saying? The Instagram baddies, the influencers, like the extra pretty girls, they give off that, and it's sad to say, vibe. And now men, because let's talk about it. Y'all are attracted to these pretty girls. You guys are attracted to these people, but because they have a certain lifestyle that you can't amount to, they are now XYZ. And now you look at every woman who is pretty or whatever the same way. And that's the messed up part about it, is like you have certain people who use their pretty privilege to an extent to where now it has a bad taste in somebody's mouth. And now they see pretty people, you must be this way and you must be that way. And it just kind of sucks a little bit. Also in the dating world, I had to explain to somebody like, hey, I was in a relationship for this many years and I maintained my body and my looks and all of that, after having kids. And I'm very blessed to be this confident, but I've had people's perception on me as like, you're this way because I carry myself a certain way. And it's like, damn, I actually put the money and time into me. It wasn't no man or anything like that. So there's that standpoint where I feel like most pretty girls, like, we have that problem. We have that all in common. Whereas men look at us a certain way and they automatically think you got a roster, you're talking to Tom, Dick, Harry. And mind you, if I want to, I could, because I am single. Y'all be talking to Sally, sis, and fucking Becky with the good hair while you're in a relationship. So I don't understand why single people get judged the most. It's like, I'm not married, I'm not with nobody, I'm not hurting nobody. So y'all should really stop judging people who are single and have options when y'all be doing it with a loyal ass person at home. That's that. So then the second standpoint is friends. Like, it's really hard to have a good friend group. Most attractive people only have a handful of friends or less. You know what I'm saying? And it has nothing to do with like, I don't really know. I just feel like a lot of people choose to have a perception on you and they think like you're stuck up or you're this or you're that. So it's kind of hard for people to want to be friends with you too. I mean, or some people want to be friends with you, but then only to gain something off of you, or whether it's attention on social media or in public because you get a lot of attention, so they want to go out with you a lot. And then, but then you have to be careful because some of those people carry insecurities, and it's like you may be secure with yourself and very, you know what I'm saying, and you love everybody and you're friends with everybody, but certain people carry different energies, and then you just have to accept that if y'all don't vibe on the same frequency, then what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So the vibes aren't there. I've attracted all types of friends, and come to find out, they really, didn't like me and felt a certain way about me, and you're this and you're that and you're stuck up, and I'm just like, what? Like, you know me? Like, yeah, I've had my past experiences with friends and people having insecurities about themselves, and then them really taking it out on you, and it's just like, oh my god, like, you know I had a friend where people would think that, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it because I just feel like that's drama, and I don't need to talk about stuff that already happened. But I have experienced, energy shifts with friendships based off of like us aging and me being a mom and not looking like it, and most of these people not having kids, but then they look like it. No shade, I'm just saying. But so there's that. My opinion on it is, to each their own. You got to really protect your energy. Like, I only have realistically like a handful of like on one hand I could count how many good people that I really love, and they love me and I trust them, just because the vibes are good. It's not even based off of like, content. You got to be careful when you're friends with people who doing content and stuff, because then they want to start, you know what I'm saying, making you feel a type of way about yourself and competing against you when there's room for all of us, but in reality, or trying to do what you're doing, but make it seem like what you do, I could do better. So, and I think being attractive plays a role in that. But, I'm not going to keep going on and on about it. I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this one up. But yeah, I did want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Comment down below if you agree that, pretty people go through it the most. That's what I forgot to say. Pretty people go through it the most because the perception of like, well, you're attractive, all you got to do is this and that. And it's like, no, some of us be having insecurities and shit. We just don't wear it on our sleeve. But also too, like, it helps sometimes with jobs. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna toot my own horn, because I've had some jobs based off of my look. And a girl got it. You know what I'm saying? Based off of my looks and stuff. I have kind of like maneuvered my way through life based off my looks. But like Jada Waiter said, you gotta be smart. You can't just be out here being pretty. You gotta know how to be pretty and knows what comes with it. It comes with a lot. It comes with a lot of, drama, and sometimes good, sometimes bad. But like I said, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I do have another video that I'm gonna be making for you guys. So stay tuned. But I did want to go ahead and get this out there because, it's just a lot that I've seen. And I was just like, I go through this. Like, I literally go through this. People treat me a certain way sometimes when I'm pretty or when I'm dressed up, like right now. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you think that all prettier people are stuck up? Do you think that we always get what we want? And yes, I'm calling myself pretty because and is. But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode. Pretty privilege. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you next time.